you have a license firearm, they take your firearm and they go on with that. And those that are supposed to vote for this bill, for the next year, you all are pleased and it's okay with that. What are they smoking? You cannot come and tell Saieed, well, hear this now. Saieed, mass mandatory, here we go. It come to an end. And then you come and tell me, here we go on Saieed. If you go to the supermarket, the grocery, or the malls, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you go to a pharmacy, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you're traveling, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the transportation hub, you have to wear your mask. If you're going to church side, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the school side, you're wearing your mask. If you go to a barber salon, you go to the theater, you're wearing your mask. Which dum-dum in Trinidad and Tobago will go in a theater and buy a popcorn and a juice and sit down and wear a mask? Thanks! If every councillor go through their constituency, do video clips like this and send it for us, I'm gonna be so happy just to play it on our program on a Wednesday night. You know why I would be happy? I will be filled with joy in my heart. You know why? Because the councillor is getting off their butts and they are actually going and doing some live video shoots. Real Talk took the initiative to find out suppliers of wheat in the world that National Flour Mill could go to. So now Romano is saying the company is not going to raise any price in the near future. Why? Why? Is it because the S-boss and they realize now that, hey, it is in the public domain that we could go right Mexico and buy flour and wheat? We could go right China and buy wheat? I am about change. And thus far, Real Talk is very effective in Trinidad and Tobago coming towards making changes for the citizens. Public Utility Minister Marvin Gonzalez have urged the population to appreciate and be grateful for the availability of the utilities. This, as Gonzalez recalled, time in his life when he had to fetch water using a bucket from a nearby river. Gonzalez, I want you to understand something. I want you, Mr. Gonzalez, to understand something. You are being paid thousands of dollars by public utility, by the finance ministry, to govern WASA. Come on. To govern WASA, I want you to understand that you ain't going in no office for no free code. You are being paid. Do not tell me that I, Saieed, have to be grateful for the water I get it. Let me tell you something, Gonzalez. Every 4 months, I have to pay $400 and I get water once a bloody month. So don't come on a media briefing and say, Saieed, you have to be contented, you have to be happy. Marvin, the next best thing for you to do is to resign and get the hell out of here.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host Saieed. We do want to welcome you viewers to our program tonight. So as I always say every night, viewers, share our live stream. Share, share, share. So if you're on your phone right now and you're looking at Real Talk with Saieed Ali on your phone, share our live stream, viewers, on Facebook. Those of you who are looking at us on Synergy Network, Synergy Television, I know most of the time people have their phones right next to you. So go up on your Facebook account, type in Real Talk with Saieed Ali, like and share our page, viewers. We encourage you to do that. Even on YouTube, Real Talk with Saieed Ali, share it, like it, share it. That is all we ask of you to do, viewers, on a nightly basis. So, remember now, just wanted to announce, man. Remember, Real Talk is offering you 4% on fixed deposits. Remember that. 4% on fixed deposit. So what you could do is contact my office, set up a date, come down to our office. What number is for the office? So remember, viewers, call my office. It's 4% on fixed deposits. Remember that. And the good thing about it, viewers, the good thing about it is that you are getting your interest payment up front. No other financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago have been able to do that other than Real Talk. Now, with our credit union department, you can be a member of our credit union, viewers. Come open a savings account, buy shares, or even open a fixed deposit. So Real Talk is offering you 4% on a fixed deposit. Remember that, viewers. Remember that. No other institution is giving you this offer. When you open a fixed deposit with us at a 4% rate, you're getting your cash up front. Yes, we are doing that. We are doing that. 5-year contract, cash up front. Up front, up front, up front. I'm here to make a difference. Remember that. Those of you who have spiritual problems, you want to contact me, not a problem. 3391670 or call my office. Tell them you want to see Saeed on a spiritual level. And they will give you a date. So remember, viewers, we are located at number 14 Carrying Savannah Road in Shoguners. Make a move. Now it's the right time to open a saving. Now it's the right time to buy shares. Now is the right time to open a fixed deposit. So you might have $100,000 or less or more put down in a financial institution, and you have to wait 10 years to collect 2% or 1.5%. How long is that? So here what you have to do now, calculate now, viewers, how much money you have in the bank, how much interest you're getting, and see if it's worth leaving it there. You see, finance is my business. Finance strategies is my business. So if you have $100,000 and it's in a financial institution for 20 years at 1% or 1.5% or 2% for 20 years, imagine what you could get on a 4% for 5 years at Real Talk. And you don't have to wait 10 years. You don't have to. You're getting your interest rate up front. Up front. So as you set up your account, cash and ride. Imagine that. Nobody does it like Real Talk. Nobody. So remember that, viewers. Now, as we start our program tonight, feel free to call in, viewers. Our number on screen, 2386716. With days left to go before the 1-year contract of Commissioner of Police Earl Haywood Christopher comes to an end, the Police Service Commission has opened application for the position. Efforts to reach Haywood Christopher to find out if she will be reapplying or how she felt were, she would never answer her phone. So that is the case. Brutal. Ask if he was considering tossing his hat back into the ring and would be applying for Commissioner of Police. Gary Griffith stated, no, definitely not. Been there, done that. However, defending Haywood Christopher, whom he said did not impose herself to the nation, but was forced on the population by an incompetent Police Service Commission. Griffith hinted at political interference and again called for the removal of the POLSC, Police Service Commission. Remember that, viewers. So finally, her post is up for grab. Who in Trinidad and Tobago is qualified to sit in that position? Now we're looking for somebody who could create strategies. We're looking for somebody who has criminal expertise. We're looking for somebody who could place their feet on the ground and say, you know what? Nobody's going to influence me. I have a job to do, I have the people to serve, and I have an office to maintain. And also, I have officers who will be depending on me as the head to run a protective organization. Do we have anybody like that in the police service? Well, in the coming weeks, viewers, we're going to know who has sent in the application. So, Chenigay Zabit. Mr. of Energy Stuart Young have stated that efforts to find the owner of the vessel involved in the Tobago oil spill are ongoing. The spill happened on February 7th. The vessel involved are reportedly the tugboat Solo, Creed, and the barge Gulfstream, which overturned on a reef off the southwest coast of Tobago. Young said the exercise and the confirmation of the owner continued to be persuaded by the Ministry of Works and Transport, in particularly the Maritime Division, utilizing international resources. He added that his ministry has been writing to various countries to ascertain and to obtain documents to support the ownership of the vessel.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, that exercise and the confirmation of the owners continues to be pursued by the Ministry of Works and Transport, in particular the Maritime Division, utilizing international resources, along with the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, who have been writing to various countries to ascertain and to obtain documentation to support the ownership, the finding of the ownership of these vessels.
Responding to a question previously, the Prime Minister said that whilst there have been documents and information that indicate connection with the vessel, the confirmation of ownership has so far not been the satisfaction of the government. Dr. Rowley said the legal action against the owners remain an option available to the government. Thousands of gallons of bunker fuel still remain inside the overturned barge, just off the coast of Tobago. More than 2 months after the barge identified as Gulfstream crashed onto a coral bed, according to the THA Chief Secretary, Farley August. Been along. Minister of Foreign Affairs and CARICOM Affairs, Dr. Amy Brown, have stated that Trinidad and Tobago maintain regular communication with all its partners in the international sphere about their advisory about relevant matters. This response followed a report at the government of Canada issuing a travel advisory informing potential visitors to this country to exercise a high degree of caution due to violent crimes. The advisory referred to crimes such as armed robbery, terrorism, and home invasion. The sources were also informed of by this a Canadian embassy officials who said the risk rating has not changed in several years, but they do update the text from travel advisory periodically. The recent change on March 28 was due to an update to the emergency contact information. The official adding that rating was last updated in 2012 and again in 2020 for COVID. Remember that, viewers? Any country you go in, viewers, there is always an advisory. Always an advisory placed. Even on the website, you could go on countries on websites and you will see it. Former Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith, leader of the National Transformation Alliance, NTA, Griffith have stated that there can be no governmental policy for legal firearm. He has challenged Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley to provide a copy of such policy. Griffith was responding to a statement made by Dr. Rowley, who previously criticized a statement made by Justice Frank C. Prasad in a ruling over delays by Police Commissioner Erla Haywood Christopher in deciding on firearm users license FUL's application. On March 25th, C. Prasad issued a string rebuke of the explanation given to the court in the commissioner's defense to the lawsuit over a Tobago businessman 7 years wait. A day after Dr. Rowley said C. Prasad went overboard with his criticism for the commissioner and added that judges did not have the power to make national policy, including the firearm.
So I can't argue with the judge who received that affidavit. Unfortunately, it is ascribed to the commissioner. And that don't look good and didn't make the commissioner look good. And of course, the judge, I think, went overboard in excoriating the commissioner, who incidentally was not personally responsible for that affidavit. It was an officer of her department, but I say she takes responsibility because at least she should have known what was being said in her name.
Now, viewers, the PM also stated that the government policy ought to be respected. The government has no policy to arm the population like Gary Griffith, and has been doing and advocating in political arena. A PNM government has a different approach, Rowley said to this.
It is all well and good for the judiciary to criticize the government. But the judiciary has to be careful that they do not hold it out, that they make policy in Trinidad and Tobago. Under our system of governance, policy is for the cabinet and approved by the parliament. So activist judges who speak as though they could make the policy and guide public servants what to do, I am saying that the government's policy ought to be respected. The government has no policy to arm the population like Gary Griffith has been doing and is advocating in the political arena.
So the PNM government have no policy to arm the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. But, viewers, I want you all to understand, as long as you are over the age of 18, I'm saying this to 1.4 million people and viewers of Real Talk outside our country. Those on Facebook, those on YouTube, those on television. As long as you are over the age of 18, this have nothing to do with the parliament. This have nothing to do with the cabinet. This have nothing to do with nobody actually. But listen this. According to the Prime Minister, that is not their policy. Right? If somebody runs into my house and rob me at gunpoint with an illegal firearm, that is not the government business. That's the first thing they would say. Said you should have had security. Said you should have had cameras. Said you should have had a gun to protect you, a licensed firearm. All well and good because we always hear these things every day. But the thing is, who arms Trinidad and Tobago with legal firearm? The police department. Who governs the police department? The commissioner of police have all authorization to sign off on FUL's application. So what we do as citizens, now listen to this. It is within your rights as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. Listen to me carefully, don't get me wrong. As long as you are a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, as long as you are, and you are over the age of 18, you are entitled to sign up for a firearm user's license. And as long as you pass all the criteria that are met by the firearm department in the police service in Trinidad and Tobago, you will be granted a firearm. What I don't understand is that how does it take 7 years? How does it take 7 years? How come? How come? And that is what the businessman has earlier in court for. Why does it take 7 years? All the application is right there in front the officer who is doing investigation. Does it take 7 years to do an investigation on one person who is applying for a firearm? if it takes 7 years, which means the department need upgrading with workers, so production can take place in the firearm department. Griffith said, there is no such thing as a government policy for legal firearm, and challenged him, the Prime Minister, to provide documentation to support his claims. Now listen to this.
That also is a lie. There is no such thing as government policy for issue of firearms. Again, this is not a communist country. The government has no such policy. I challenge you, Keith Rowley. You are lying again. Show us this government policy. And if you can't show it, it shows yet again that you're a liar. The policy for issue of firearms in any democratic country is from your constitution. It is from the laws, and the laws are clear. So to try to allude that a judge was misinformed or he said the wrong thing because we must adhere to government policy as it pertains to issue of firearms, it shows how clueless you are, knowing nothing about national security. The issue of firearms must be adhered to based on the laws of Trinidad and Tobago. And you seem to want to bypass the laws of Trinidad and Tobago, bypass the constitution of Trinidad and Tobago, and try to say that you as a politician would direct and decide how and who must have firearms.
He also stated that the plan is, and the concept is, that everyone has a constitutional right to get a firearm. That is a lie. Whoever said that? What we have said, similar to Kamala Prasad sir, that if you are eligible and you have gone through the criteria, what it is that is preventing you from getting it.
As long as you are a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. You see, and this is where everybody is being mistaken, that there is a policy to get a firearm. As long as you are a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, you met all criteria by the Firearm Bureau of Trinidad and Tobago to be granted your firearm license. And just a heads up for you, the cabinet does not sign off on it. The government does not sign off on it. You know who signs off on it? The Commissioner of Police. Not Prime Minister. Not the Minister of National Security. Not WASA's Minister. Not the Teacher's Minister. Not the Health Minister. No minister sign off on it. You know who signs off on a firearm license? The Commissioner of Police. That is the only one authorized to sign off on that license. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Saieed.
Go right ahead.
Suppose Earl sleeping on herself like Fitzy. She wouldn't be able to sign off. But I want to talk about something slightly different. You see the 7 babies? That hurts my heart. And that tells me that this country is basically normalizing deaths and homicide. And I want to prophesize what's going to happen. You see that case that is going to the court with the parents of the 7 boys' babies? You want to bet that they basically resolve that very quickly. And why I'm telling you that, look at the difference. Look at the Paria, 4 fellas who die in the Paria. A pronouncement has always been made with the Mr. Lindsay Commissioner, who say the company is guilty of corporate manslaughter. You know why that north of the Caroni Bridge is going to be resolved quickly? Because the 4 divers from south of the Caroni Bridge. I didn't want to go wrong that way, but I see it today. I see it happen. The Terrence the Terrible talk about it. I am betting the last dollar I have, which I can't invest in you. That ain't big enough to get a 4%. But I'm betting you they're going to resolve that. And I think people will understand what I'm saying, because that is the way KCR behave. Everything that is south of the bridge, they discriminate against. Are gone. Have a nice evening.
Thank you, my friend. Now, viewers, in closing of this, Gary Griffith, in his statement, he spoke of his approach to FUL application and said he issued 2,000 a year. compared to other commissioners while guided by the law. Days after Prime Minister's statement, Sipasad was defended by a colleague saying the decision vested with the commissioner under Section 17 of the Firearm Act. The executive plays no role in the process. The judge pointed out that the state, through the Office of the Attorney General, was not involved in the case before Sipasad. Paula, good night.
Hi, good night, Saeed.
Go right ahead, your life.
One correction I would like to make there, that the minimum age to get a firearm user license is 25 years of age and not...
My mistake, I was just checking back. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and the other thing is that previously the license fee to be paid was $150.
Correct.
Now it's $800 now.
Yes.
So it seems like this is the way the government want to generate revenue by charging exorbitant fees and fines to actually make money. That's what I can see.
Thank you, my friend. And thank you for correcting me. I do appreciate that. It's 25. You're on the brain gain out of the rest. So viewers, we are going for a little short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to hear from the Trinidad and Tobago Registered Nurses Association concerning the issues with the 7 babies who died. Stay tuned after this.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Report Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saeed, Managing Director of Real Talk Report Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Do you have a public concern you would like to highlight? You can email your pictures and videos to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will highlight your concerns on our show for Public Concerns Wednesday.
So welcome back to Real Talk, viewers. Remember, at Real Talk, you can get your fixed deposit interest up front instead of waiting 5, 10, 15, 20 years. As long as you open a fixed deposit with us, you qualify for the 4%. It's not a problem. You're getting your cash up front, viewers. If you invest 5,000, you invest 10,000, you invest 50,000, you invest 100,000 or more, once you qualified on a 5 years basis and over, you're getting your cash up front. Where else in Trinidad are you going to get that? Nowhere. Why? Why are you getting that? Because they are using your money to lend. But you have to wait 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years to get the interest. At Real Talk, you're getting up front. Upfront interest. You know how good you will feel to get your interest up front? A lump sum of money in your hand instead of waiting 10 years for it? Contact our office, viewers. Flashing the numbers. Contact our office, viewers. Set up an appointment. come down to open a fixed deposit and get your cash, your interest up front. Remember that, viewers. Upfront interest that is being paid on a fixed deposit. Who else is doing it? Nobody else. Call a good night.
I want to find out something.
Talk to me.
The company that these guys used to work for LMTS, did they have insurance for the workers? They supposed to have some level of insurance for the workers. Now I understand the state's supposed to pay something, and they are also culpable in this whole thing. But where is the LMTS and all of this? They're supposed to have insurance to cover the workers.
Correct.
Right?
You're supposed to have
LMTS supposed to pay them at least something by now also.
You're supposed to have insurance on the work in case an incident happen.
Yeah.
Yes, correct. Well said.
Right? Okay. That's what I want to know.
Thank you, my friend. You're supposed to have insurance here. Plus NIS. All these things. Benefit. So Trinidad and Tobago, listen to this, The president of the Trinidad and Tobago Registered Nurses Association, ID Stewart, have stated that there are technicality, no registered neonatal intensive care unit or any specialist nurse in Trinidad and Tobago. Let me read that again for you, Trinidad and Tobago. The president of the Trinidad and Tobago Registered Nurses Association, ID Stewart, have stated there are technically no registered neonatal intensive care unit or any specialist nurse in Trinidad and Tobago. Ooh, this is where the bacchanal start now. Terry, you know, let me mention that name, Terry. You need to come clean. You have some explanation to do because I found out that 7 parents are getting a lawyer to sue the state. Now, ID, he stated that there was a lack of supervision given a shortage of experienced nursing personnel. Let's listen to this.
The Trinidad and Tobago Nursing Association calls for the publication of the number of nursing personnel who have attached to the NICU department of the Port of Spain General Hospital. We would want to know if the internationally accepted and locally implemented policy in terms of patient-to-staff ratio within the NICU department of 1 nurse to 1 patient was being followed. Also, there's the lack of supervision. A lot of these IHAs do not have the number of nursing personnel, do not have the number of experienced nursing personnel, because what is one thing to have nursing personnel so they could come out and say, yes, we have the required number of nursing personnel. But are they trained in specific specialty? And currently, as we speak, there is no nursing specialty accredited nursing school to teach the neonatal intensive care.
Heads will roll. Stewart is calling for heads to roll following the death of 7 babies at the neonatal intensive care unit at the Port of Spain General Hospital. So Trinidad and Tobago, we reaching somewhere? Yes, we're reaching somewhere. There are no experienced nurse for that department. None. Who's gonna pay for slackness? Who should be held accountable? The Minister of National what? The Minister of what? The Minister of National Health in Trinidad and Tobago. Or the Minister of Health in Trinidad and Tobago. Heads will start rolling. Saieed Ali saying, believe me, you have some serious answers to give to Trinidad and Tobago because you have questions coming at you. If you are the Minister of Health and we have the best health in health service or the best health care centers in the Caribbean, and we don't have no professional people supervising nurses giving birth or doctors giving birth to babies. Terry, how you call that? Are you misleading the population of Trinidad and Tobago into telling us that, hey, everything is clean, everything is safe, we have professionals? According to the president of the Registered Nurses Association, there are no individuals to fill that supervision spot. Not security. Terry, believe me, if you have never been under the gun, if you have never been under fire in Trinidad and Tobago for being the Minister of Health, now you are. Believe me, now you are. Now listen to this. He stated that non-specialist nurses routinely work in specialist units at the national or at the nation's hospital. And while there are some nurses with special training, there is no national registry to mandate or enforce standards as it pertains to their training. Listen to it.
We don't have a registry for specialist nurses. So that should be one of the priority areas the Ministry of Health and the Nursing Council need to work on, a registry for specialist nurses. And with that registry, you would end up having a mandatory continuing education for those specialist nurses. So we have nurses who are trained in specialist areas, and we have nurses who just work in specialist areas. They may not even be trained. And more than likely, you would have that in this very NICU department.
Throws you a curveball, and you need a clear path forward. Trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Caller, good night.
Yeah, President, good night, my lord. How are you going?
Go right ahead, your life. Talk to me.
But I don't know what the ministers and them again. But I don't know what they want to do with, what they want again. How much we could beg again and beg the Lord, and these people still doing wrong thing. Look how far we reach. Look how advanced this world is now, and still carelessness going on. No man that they right at all, boy, shy. But God be with you, my lord. Take care, brother.
Thank you, my friend. So now, viewers, the association wants now to see who would be held responsible as the incidents raise concerns about the irregularities at health institutions, which include medical staff, not nurses, entering sterilized area with unsterilized clothing. It is now.
how often were they swabbing the area for infections. It can be just now swabbing after the incident occurred. This has to be an ongoing thing. Every 48 hours, you're supposed to be doing swab analysis of the area to identify if there's an increase or a decrease in particular infections or bacteria. So it cannot be a knee-jerk response. The medical chief of staff must be held to account, and if it means that person's doing the honorable thing and resigning, well then so be it.
Now viewers, on Friday, Health Minister Terence Dialsing apologized for parents of the 7 babies and added that the Northwest Regional Health Authority has always implemented stringent infections prevention and control practice, which are standard in that area, in the neonatal intensive care unit. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Saeed.
Go right ahead, you're live.
San Fernando Hospital is the worst hospital. If you see the place unclean, real unclean. The other thing is that these metformin they're given diabetic patients, it has so many side effects. There are other medications that don't have side effects, but they don't want to bring it in. I would like you to look into it, please.
Thank you, my friend. A senior ordinary member of the Council of the Law Association of Trinidad and Tobago has stated that comments by the association president on replacing the Privy Council as the country's highest appellate court with the Caribbean Court of Justice were not sanctioned by the members. So viewers, who in Trinidad and Tobago or who in authority wants to bypass the Law Association in Trinidad and go to the CCJ? Which body wants to overrule the Law Association and demolish the Privy Council in Trinidad and Tobago and go straight to the Caribbean Court of Justice? Who wants to do that? If the Law Association members are saying that they did not sanction that to get rid of the Privy Council and put the CCJ in place, so we would have no Privy Council but just a Caribbean Court of Justice. Who ordered that? Who in high profile ordered that? President of the Association of Southern Lawyers issued a statement in response to comment by the late President Lynette Tibaran Sweet, ST, in a published report. If truth, she said, the President's comments were extremely unfortunate as they may not be reflective of the general membership of the organization. She added that on July 10, 2015, when Attorney General Regional Amo ST was association president, a special general meeting was called to the Hall of Justice to discuss the issue, but a motion to adjourn the meeting was passed and deliberations was adjourned until the new law term began to allow for information to be distributed to the members. Now, following the adjournment, Lacan added that information was sent regarding arguments of for and against replacing the Privy Council with the CCJ. A symposium was also held on February 26, 2016 at the Convocational Hall with 65 attendees, including the Chief Justice and the Director of Public Prosecution. The viewers, what they are trying to do, or somebody in high society is trying to do, is to remove the Privy Council And when you demolish the Privy Council in Trinidad and Tobago, you want to go directly now to the CC. Who is the main individual that is pushing for this? Who is the main individual? Do we know of that main individual? Why do you want to demolish the Privy Council? So the person who is doing this, do you have friends and family in the CCJ? I don't know, I'm asking a question like everybody else. The person who is pushing this motion, will you be favored in the CCJ? Caribbean? The Caribbean Court? Would you be favored? The viewers, we are going for a short commercial break.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on a roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Do you have a public concern you would like to highlight? You can email your pictures and videos to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will highlight your concerns on our show for Public Concerns Wednesday.
So welcome back to Real Talk, viewers. Remember, viewers, we at Real Talk is offering you 4% fixed deposit for 5 years, and you can get your interest payment up front. Or if you are a member of any financial institution and you have a fixed deposit at their financial institution, and instead of waiting that period of time that you signed up for to get your interest, why not break it there, bring it here, and collect your interest up front? And I am sure we are paying more that you are receiving. I am definitely sure we are paying more that you are receiving. But the good thing with us at Real Talk is that from the time you sign up for a fixed deposit, you're getting your cash up front. You're getting your interest up front. So you don't have to wait that time span again to get your interest. Who is the leader? Saieed from Real Talk. Remember that. Also, viewers, you could be members of our credit union, Real Talk Credit Union. You could open savings account, you could buy shares, you could open fixed deposits. Remember, viewers, Real Talk is paying 4% and you're getting your cash up front. All you have to do is call our numbers, ask for information, set up an appointment, and be what? What you gonna be? Go back to me, director. What are you gonna be? You're gonna be rich with interest in your hand. That is what you're gonna be. Rich with interest in your hand. Why am I saying that? Because you don't have to wait 10 years to collect the interest in your hand. You're getting it up front to do your business. And when time's getting hard, trust me, viewers, trust me, you need extra cash. So you don't have to wait 10 years to do over your roof. You don't have to wait 10 years to collect the interest on your fixed deposit that you have in a credit union or a bank to do your roof, or to buy a stove, or to buy a car. You're getting your interest up front when you open a fixed deposit at Real Talk. Remember that, viewers. So moving along, sources at BPTT could neither confirm nor deny report of an alleged divestment of 3 of its gas fields to French oil and gas company Poren. Communication officer Lewis said the company could not comment on the report at that time. However, multiple news sources in the energy sector have reported that BPTT was expected to close a deal to Shell of 3 of its fields to Porenco. A Reuters report stated that 2 companies are in talks over the field. According to the report, if the field are divested, it could result in a 15% reduction of BPTT's 1.3 billion cubic feet per day in production in Trinidad and Tobago. So if BPTT is selling off its assets in Trinidad and Tobago, viewers, this is something to keep at the front of your forehead. That is just a little warning. That is just a little warning, viewers. So if BPTT is selling out assets in Trinidad, trust me, something is going wrong. But we're going to wait till more info comes at hand, and it comes back. So we're going to the Minister of Health, Terence Dayal Singh. All I hear this, eh? Hear this, eh? Minister of Health Terence Dayal Singh have stated that there has been 179 COVID-19 cases and 31 deaths from October 2023 to February 2024. He gave the figures in response to a question from United National Congress MP Dr. Lakram Bodhi. Dayal Singh stated that there were 179 confirmed COVID cases for the period October 1st, 2023 to February 29, 2024. He also said there are 31 deaths over that period. Hospitals being used for COVID treatment are mainly the Couva Hospital and the San Fernando General Hospital. Cases vary between 6 to 10 at any one time. Dayal Singh added that the medical and demographic profile of those who died were the elderly. He said there were 26 persons over age of 60 and 16 persons were over 80. The minister also noted that in regards to comorbidities, diabetes was present in 42% of the cases, hypertension in 55% of the cases, and 39 had both diabetes and hypertension. Listen to the minister.
For the period October 1st, 2023 to February 29th, 2024, there were 179 confirmed COVID-19 cases. Part B, for the said period in Part A above, there were 31 deaths from COVID-19.
Supplemental member for Faizabad.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Can the Minister indicate, without disclosing any confidential information, of course, the medical and demographic profile of patients who continue to die from COVID-19?
Minister of Health.
Yes. Unfortunately, we followed the same pattern. The elderly, 26 persons were over 60, 16 were over 80, but more importantly, the comorbidities. Diabetes were present in 42% of the cases, hypertension in 55% of the cases, and 39% of the cases had both diabetes and hypertension.
Call good night.
Yes, sir. Good night.
Go right ahead, my friend. You're live.
Sir, tell me something now.
Talk to me.
All this COVID-19 cases and things, that is still a thing, right? I don't know, I just asking a question here now, because I find it strange that all of a sudden they're coming out with the figures again now. Anyhow, I called to talk about 2 quick points here, right? First of all, right? There's 7 babies that die, right? Let me ask you a question. And under the last regime, the People's Partnership Government, and Kamala Prasad built a children's hospital in Cuba.
Yes.
So why didn't open the hospital for the children?
Correct.
On the summer point, people would not have no reason to go in Port of Spain and San Fernando and Grande with their children and things. They could have carried them down Cuba and get proper health care down there. But again, politics. What about the campus down in Davie? Why they not opening the campus down in Davie? Politics again. So people are to suffer because the PNM don't like how the UNC build a certain building, so they're not opening it. They don't work, not supposed to work like that. We're not supposed to be suffering because them bickering and fighting. Not supposed to be that way. And I want to ask a question here tonight, right? I've seen videos popping up with licensing officers all over. Talking about regulation here and regulation there. And once that dinosaur laws they're coming out with now to charge people for their vehicle and thing, right? I was noticing they're talking about people's fog lights in their vehicles.
Yes.
If it is that the state can provide proper lighting on the road, which is street lights, so people can see where they're going and their headlights not good, and they need to upgrade their vehicle with fog lights to see the road, you will give them a ticket for that? Asking a question here, you're trying not to mash up your vehicle more because the road's very bad. All over, you go have a hole on the road. You had a dodge hole anywhere you're going. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Correct, you're correct.
And I want to bring one last thing before I go, right? Plenty people in this country, a lot of people getting their license suspended by the Works and Transport, right? Licensing division, right? If it is somebody were to hit your vehicle and they have a suspended license, what's going to be the position with your vehicle? Is the insurance that covering their vehicle? Are they going to fix your vehicle? What's going to happen to your vehicle? I want to know
what
this
you're saying.
because this is a question nobody not asking. I don't hear nobody talking about it. If somebody's license is suspended and they get in an accident and they are found to be wrong, what is the position they know? Who fixing your vehicle? That is what I'm asking you. Anyway, sir, you enjoy your night.
Thank you, my friend. How many minutes we have? So Trinidad and Tobago, there's 3 minutes left on our program, but I want to bring something to you. The Commissioner of Police, the Commissioner of License Office had several meetings with maxi taxi owners in different routes, I believe, over the weekend. I have some insights on it. Now, listen to this. The income stream to the government from licensing department through ticketing is a very large stream. Now, I want to ask Clive Clark, I believe is the Commissioner of Transport. When you suspend a man license for 2 years, when he gets a ticket for a seatbelt, you still have to pay a ticket and you're getting the merit point added on. That's number one. Now, this conversation, we're going to have it on our next night also, because there is some information needs to be in the public domain that is not in the public domain. If a man is paying a loan for his house and his vehicle, and he gets the merit points based on a tire, based on a seatbelt, based on a blow bulb, and it works up to 11 points over a period of time. When he gets his license suspended for 2 years because of this foolishness, I want to ask Clive Clark, what is that individual going to do when he's a taxi driver or a maxi driver or a transport driver? Clive Clark, how is this man going to pay his loan? Over the weekend, a guy came to me. He's a maxi driver. Over a period of some months, he would have gotten the maximum amount of 11 demerit points. And the commissioner's office sent him an email that he or they are going to suspend his license. This man paying a loan for a vehicle. This man have children to go to school. This man is paying a rent. And he's a maxi taxi driver. He has been doing that for a number of years. He has his own max. Now Clive Clark, what is he going to do when driving his own maxi is his job? Can you and licensing department address that? Clark, let me tell you something. If 10 people get suspended with their license, that is 10 less person on the revenue stream of paying a ticket. The revenue stream in ticketing is a very large one. And the Treasury makes a lot of money by this. So viewers, we are going to continue this topic on our next show. So from now until then, you be safe and enjoy the night.